Guys, welcome back to yet another video, guys. Yeah, we're back, man. But with this one, this was going to be a little different. And what I mean by a little different is, guys, this is not a follow-up to the Invaders video that I've been doing and I've been working on and I've been rolling through that. The part 6, which in turn will be the conclusion, the finale, is on the way. Don't worry about it. It is on the way. It will be there. But I wanted to kind of take a step back and I kind of wanted to get a refresher. And I kind of wanted to react to another content creator that I've pretty much got inspired by to start kind of watching and kind of viewing a lot of these videos and reacting to it. And that is Brownsmagic. So shout out to you. This is a video in which that I saw that she posted, where it's basically she's doing I guess a retrospective look on Attack on Titan chapter 139. This video particularly, it was a whole year since it ended, and she's going back and kind of just looking back over it to see and tell you what she thinks basically has her mind been changed or something like that. And I thought that was a pretty cool, dope concept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to that, guys. Again, Brownsmagic, when y'all are looking at any of her videos, again, we're pretty much on the same wavelength in terms of agreeing with a lot of the stances that we saw on Attack on Titan and a lot of the things that we saw that just did not really make sense. And again, we pretty much see eye to eye on that. So with this video that she posted here, I want to react to that and kind of check it out, see what her thoughts are, see if the thoughts still kind of align. I thought it'd be fun. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air. But guys, never fret. Part 6 and the conclusion and the finale is on the way. That will be posted very, very soon. But other than that, we're going to react to this video. But guys, also please remember, guys, to hit that like, thumbs up button as well as the subscribe button. And it's free. It doesn't cost you a goddamn thing. So all you got to do is just do that. Again, I'm trying to grow this channel, guys. I've started recently, fairly new in Escape and basically in the landscape. And I want to kind of push the envelope here, give you guys some content by you guys giving, any content creator, the likes and the subscribes. That kind of shows them that you guys are at least interested in the content that they're putting out. So if you could guys do that for me, that'd be very much appreciated. And along with that, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Also, definitely share the content. If you know somebody who basically has the same thought process or lives in the same world as you do in regards to like Attack on Titan and the way you feel about it, share the content. Let them know, hey, look, check these folks out. Because again, we're putting this out here for you guys and for your entertainment. And yeah, we're going to just rock and roll with that. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to stop the rambling. I want to give the rambling to the video. We're going to check this video out. Basically, this is, again, a look back on chapter 139, and she's going to tell you her thoughts about it. I'm pretty excited. Let's rock and roll. All right, here we go.
Okay, so it's been a year since Attack on Titan ended, and I just wanted to let you guys know how I feel about it now. Yeah, so let's get right into it. Now, this is going to be more of like an overview. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a different video about like the main characters, how I feel about them now. Like, I already know some of my opinions about Mikasa changed. You know, you just wait for the next video. It'll be out soon, like probably tomorrow, honestly, maybe the next day. I don't fucking know. Whatever. But let's just get into it. So, do I still think the ending sucks?
Absolutely.
Yes. But
Absolutely.
To a lesser degree than I thought previously. Now, here's the thing about Twitter. You will have very, very, very unpleasant people trying to convince you to think or feel a certain way about something.
That's true.
Need a Gatorade. Sorry. Let me...
What's with the monkey? What's with the monkey, though? God damn! said, what?
I was like, perfect. Gold sells Vans.
Yeah.
I picked up a new pair. I'm in love with them.
Okay.
Hey, Simeon!
Guys.
What are you doing?
Oh my god. Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
I just
All
took my
right.
book.
Please.
Yes,
Stop.
ma'am.
Thank
Twitter
you.
is a place for, you get a lot of bad shit with Twitter. You get fucking freaks trying to convince you that you're stupid, that you're wrong, that their opinion is 100% correct. You get an ending defender and you get an ending hater. They talk, they argue, and sometimes some of each other's points will rub off on the other. I'm an ending hater, I guess, right? Quotes, whatever, right? I'm an ending hater. I've gotten to it. I'll put receipts, bro. I got into it with multiple ending defenders.
Okay, so with the whole getting into it with ending defenders, I don't so much get into it. Like, my thing is with me personally, when it comes to the whole Attack on Titan issue at hand, because it is an issue and it's still an issue, and I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and predict this too. All right, it's gonna be a bigger issue if in fact the anime decides to follow the manga to a T. It's gonna be an issue. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because a lot of anime only people, they have no idea what they've got themselves into. They have absolutely no idea what they've gotten themselves into. And I can tell you this, that if that motherfucker, I'm telling you, if that motherfucker ends the way the manga did, oh, you're gonna have a damn near revolt on this motherfucker. I've had plenty of people tell me straight up, because again, I've read the manga, I know how it ends, I know how everything transpires, I know all of that. However, I've also kind of alluded to the fact that the ending was kind of right? So those who just watched the anime, my friends, they've told me straight up. They said if it ends poorly, oh, they said they're gonna hate it. And I've already had a person who, they wasn't too much of a fan of the ending of what's this shit called? What's that show called? Code Geass. They didn't like the Code Geass ending, because the Code Geass ending, they just didn't like it. They didn't like the fact of being set up as the villain and trying to set everybody else up as the hero. That is exactly how chapter 139 ended. And if they see that, they're going to go ballistic, because they're not going to like it. So you're going to have a lot of people who aren't going to like that, because they wanted something different. They wanted something fresh. And Attack on Titan in its earlier stages gave us that. It gave us something fresh, something that was unprecedented, something we've never seen before. So if it ends anywhere close to that, people are going to be upset. A lot of anime only people are going to be upset. But getting back to what I was saying, when it comes to the whole ending defending thing, I like dialogue. I don't want confrontation. I don't want, disputes and this and that. I want you to have a dialogue with me in regards to what points in any videos that I've made was wrong, or what points did I say based off of the source material that was given to us that is incorrect. That is what I want you to prove to me, that if I said something that was incorrect based off of my videos. Because if I didn't, then there's really nothing more you can argue with me. You can't even debate with me on that. Again, I truly 100% emphatically believe a lot of you ending lovers and people who defended the ending and like that, I think you guys have a hard time with acceptance. And I think that, again, something that you've put in you've put so much time and effort and energy into, you have a hard time accepting that thing did not turn out the way that it should have. So what you do is you learn to just try to cope and say that it was good, when in actuality the points that a lot of people who hated the ending make are valid. But you will say, no, it's not. And you'll argue other points that doesn't even equate to what our problem is with the ending. So, again, guys, as I said before, and I'll continuously say it, ending defenders, it's okay to say that something that you loved sucked. It's okay to do that. It's not a bad thing. Just accept it. You can accept the fact that this may not have ended the right way. A lot of the key points and aspects of the story towards the end was kind of convoluted and ridiculous. But you guys, again, I know it, but it's okay. But again, I don't want to get into any arguments with people. I like, dialogue. So, I've had a few come into the comment section of my videos and try to say certain things. But all I do is just brush them off with facts. And they can't say shit. So.
And I'll admit, I have been swayed on a few points. There's a lot that I still don't like about this ending, but there's a lot that I have pretty much come to terms with. Okay. Something someone told me that I thought was really interesting. Okay. Now, I don't completely buy it, but I thought it was really interesting. Someone told me, it makes sense that Eren would choose to leave the fate of the world up to Armin, because he does the same thing in season 1. Remember when that red-haired guy, whatever, military general or whatever the fuck, was going to kill Eren with the bomb?
Yeah, crazy.
This was right after Eren's first transformation or something like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's gonna kill Eren with the bomb, and Eren's like, ooh, okay, Armin, do you think you can talk us out of dying right now? If not, I'm gonna fucking bounce. I'm gonna transform and grab you guys. We're gonna get out of here. So if you think back to that scene, I guess you could perhaps maybe draw a line and connect it to Eren choosing to leave the future of Paradis to Armin.
With that, I will probably have to say I have to say no. And the only reason I have to say no, I can see what she's saying in terms of saying you could possibly connect that because of that. However, the only reason I say that you can't, because if that's the case, then there has been no character progression in Eren whatsoever. Because of the simple fact, I think that, this is just me though, I think that the way the writing was, is I think it was supposed to have, because everybody had character progression, right? We saw character progression with everybody. And if we're going to go with, let's say we go with a hypothetical of that, it makes sense that he would leave it to Armin because of this particular scenario that happened in the beginning of the manga. Then that means that Eren had no character progression whatsoever, because there were multiple instances throughout the story that showed Eren's progression in regards to making decisions, right? The biggest decision that he regretted, that I know that he regretted, is during the whole Annie chase scene, where he left it up to the Levi team to take her. But if in fact he may have chose differently, in terms, instead of trusting in the individual and seeing that things just didn't really work out like that, this was to me, this was the first, I would say the first scenario in that whole, you got to do things yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's think about it. Follow along with me. I think this was the first writing portion that shows that, hey, yes, it's okay to try to put your faith and your trust in your friends, but sometimes, or in others, but sometimes that shit ain't gonna work the way you think it's gonna work. And to be honest with you, if Pixis didn't show up, they would have been blown to hell and they would have been dead, right? So that was one, right? Then you have the whole Levi situation when they were in the forest, where Levi was like, hey, and everybody was like, hey, put your trust in us. Put your trust in us and not in your power and not in yourself. Trust us to get this done. So he said, I will do that. I will follow and I will trust that. But by him choosing that, this team got wiped the fuck out. And on top of that, by him not transforming earlier, he could have saved those other people that ran up on Annie, those other insignificant folks who, no-name soldiers, got killed. Right? So that was in that moment in which it was like, okay, I put all of my trust in this. And then throughout the progression of the story, he started to try to put his trust in everybody else. And that's what I'm referencing of him trying not to do the rumbling. Because he started to put his trust in everybody else. In terms of like, okay, Hanji, figure something else out. Okay, you can't figure something else out. All right, let's go over here. So let's go over here with Azumabutos and let's go to this UN meeting, this United Nations meeting, right? And this was during the meeting. This is when he first disappeared, and they didn't see him again. He listened. They went in on that meeting to see if somebody would represent the island and speak up for the island to say that they were okay. They didn't, right? They still were like, no. When the devil parried these people, gotta die. He tried to put his trust in those people. They failed. Then the whole Willie Tiber speech. He was sitting there hoping that maybe something was different. I believe that he wanted a different outcome to happen while also talking to Reiner. But again, he was trying to put his faith in other people. So he tried to put his faith in hopefully Willie Tiber didn't throw them under the bus. Because Willie Tiber started to tell the truth and the true history of that. So he was maybe hoping that I'm going to put my trust in this motherfucker and hopefully that he doesn't. But guess what? He said, I want to declare war. And that's why his face looked the way it did in that chapter, because he accepted the fact that no matter what I do, every time I try to put my faith into somebody else, it fails miserably. So I need to put my faith and my trust in me. And what I need to do is I need to just make it happen. Fuck it. That's when he transformed and he ate Willie Tiber. Because I think, honestly, if things would have went differently, if any one of those scenarios changed up just a bit to where they were on their side, none of that would have happened. But I think, like I said, I can see the point of where you could add the fact of it makes sense for that, but then that to me would then destroy and negate the character progression in which Eren was. Like, you didn't learn your fucking lesson, right? And I think he learned his lesson at the Willie Tiber speech. That's why he just straight up attacked. I think he learned his lesson there. So that's my take on it. I know that was pretty long-winded. You guys know my videos. I'm very long-winded. But we'll continue. Let's continue.
But the problem I see with that is it's... You know, they're trying to argue that that's a microcosm. I don't think it is. Because this is Eren like, hey, for my safety, just me, Armin, see if you can talk me out of this bad situation, right? Whereas this is, hey, Armin, for the safety of everyone that we've ever known, I put it in your hands. Ooh, especially with how we've seen Eren grow as a character throughout the series. I don't think it's that intelligent to assume that he would still then leave shit up to Armin, right? Because he has the whole choice with no regret scene with Levi, right? Are you gonna trust in us? You know, he has that.
I swear to God, y'all, I have not watched this video yet. I have not watched, but see, this perfectly goes to show you, as I've said before, and I'll say it again. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Most, if not all, of the people who did not like the ending, we are all on the same page. We're all on the same page when it comes to the dislikes and the reasons for us not liking it. And this right here goes to show it. I just told y'all in the beginning of this video that Brownsmagic, we pretty much are on the same page and we see the eye to eye on a lot of things, and that she inspired me to start doing the reaction videos with the AOT thing, because I started to see that I need to step back into the world, and she was one of the ones that caught my attention when I started watching it. So I said that, and she's about to literally just name exactly what I just said about his character progression and this portion of him choosing them over his own individual actions, and how if in fact he would have chose by himself to go ahead and transform with the help of them, they probably could have stopped Annie. They probably could have subdued Annie. But he chose to trust in the process and got them killed. So yeah, I told y'all.
After he trusts in Armin, and mind you, that didn't even work, right? It was Pixis's power and authority that got Eren and Mikasa and Armin out of that situation. It was,
bro, I'm telling y'all, I just said it. I just said that. I said if Pixis didn't show up, they would have been dead. So Armin didn't do anything. That was his first lesson. That was the first lesson. And then I went to name off all the other ones. I promise you guys, I can swear to you, I have not seen this video, not one bit. I have no idea what this is about to say or what she's about to say. But you clearly see we are on the same page. I told y'all. Us who did not like the ending, we disliked it for logical reasons. This is why. We have logical reasoning skills. This is why.
Was not Armin's speech. It was not Armin's speech, right? Then we get the choice scene, which is a pivotal moment, the choice with no regrets, pivotal moment in Aaron's characterization throughout the rest of the series. That puts him on a new fucking level.
Yeah.
He says verbatim, if I had just trusted in myself, then maybe I could have, like, had a different result, right? He decides to trust in Petra and Oluo and Gerard, whatever the fuck their names were, Elgin and Petra. I said Petra already. That he chooses to trust in them, and it leaves him with the worst result.
They all die.
Ever, right? They all die. And so we have that in between, in between him trusting in Armin and then the ending. So I would say that moment is where the choice of no regrets is where he learns, hey, I have to trust in myself. I have to believe in myself.
Yeah.
It is me. I get the best result when I believe in myself and when I do it myself. So from now on, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
That's why he doesn't consult the Survey Corps and he goes to Marley, he infiltrates, knowing that he's their biggest weapon, they're going to come after him, right? He trusts in himself, though. He puts his plan in motion and he does it himself. So then that's why I still feel it makes no sense for him to go 80% and then believe in Armin for the rest. I think that is absolutely asinine still.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
It was a good shot, but I think that's still an asinine claim.
Agreed.
Now the next.
Agreed. That's what I say. I agree with that. Like I said, I can see how they can be interwoven and interconnected, but I definitely agree with that on all points. It doesn't make sense because, again, she just named everything that I literally just said before she said it. It wouldn't make sense for him to do that because, again, if that's the case, that then negates all the character progression that we got. That negates it all. So, yeah.
Next thing I felt strongly about this ending was, everything regarding Ymir. I still feel the exact same. No difference whatsoever. It's disgusting. Yeah. Her being in love with her abuser. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
But I heard an interesting take. Aaron was confused about what she meant by, like, love, right? Ymir did need love, but...
All right, let's see. So this is a take, I guess, from an indie defender. Aaron was confused about what Ymir wanted since he doesn't understand his own feelings. No, I think personally, in my personal opinion, and I made this point. I made this point. I'll say it later, but it's a very good point that came to me, and I actually thought about it, and I was like, and I thought about it all by myself, and I was like, bro, that makes fucking logical sense. But say Aaron was confused about what Ymir wanted since he doesn't understand his own feelings. I don't even know that to be the case. Just because, to be honest with you, I just personally think that, again, throughout the entirety of the story, there was no telltale signs that Aaron was in love with Mikasa. Like, he cared for her, of course. Clearly, he did. But it wasn't in a romantic way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in a romantic way. And that's my thing. Like, my thing is that people are saying, oh yeah, he loved her and he was in love with her, and this is all the people who are trying to, put them together and get them together. But the reality is there was no signs that showed or led towards the fact that Aaron was in love with Mikasa in that romantic way. The closest thing you could possibly say is when Dina was attacking and just killed Hannes. That's the closest thing you can say. And he said the little comment of, I'll wrap the scarf around you as many times as you want, or whatever. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Clearly on her end, yes, those feelings were very, very much shown where she really did want to, kiss him. But he didn't show that. And my thing is if there was any type of slight modicum of any type of showing of feelings, I would understand him breaking down like he did in chapter 139. I will understand that, like, if it was written the way that Armin and Annie were written, we clearly could see that there was something between Armin and Annie. We clearly could see that because it was the way it was written and the way it was presented to us. But Eren and Mikasa, it was not presented in that way. From her end, yes, but from his end, no. So that's why a lot of us didn't like it, because it didn't make any sense, because it was just thrown out there. That's our problem. That's why we didn't like that. I can understand. I see the quote and I understand what they're saying. He didn't understand his feelings, so how in turn is he going to be able to understand somebody else's? Yeah, that's a logical sense in the scenario if it was presented to us in that way. That's my thing. If it was presented to us in that way, I would agree with you. But since it was not, that's why I can't. Again, I'm going solely off the source material. I'm not picking and grabbing from nowhere. I'm not reaching. I'm just going straight off the source material. And in that source material, guys, you guys can go back through chapter 1 to chapter 139. There was no indication whatsoever of him being in love with Mikasa like that. Like on the level in which she loved him. It was no indication of that whatsoever. So
she didn't need love of the abuser. She needed parents, right? And so, I don't know. So, like, that's it. That's more of an AOE argument. Oh, Eren was confused in this timeline. He thought she needed love from a partner. But, the last timeline, he's gonna figure out, nope, she needs parents or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really say I have an opinion on that, but I just know that Fritz X Ymir is disgusting, and I hate hearing about it. I don't like it at all.
Something else I wanted to add was when Eren infiltrated Marley and him and Zeke were talking about Mikasa's feelings, Zeke says, "So how will you respond?" And then it cuts to Historia asking Eren about a baby. So a theory is maybe in one timeline he responds, she's like, "How do you feel about me having a child?" He's like, "Yeah, but not with me," or something like that, something along those lines. And then in this next timeline, in this anime timeline, Zeke asks, "So how will you respond?" And his response was, "Yes, Historia, let's have a baby together." I don't know. And if you think about it, when he asked Mikasa, "What am I to you? Family, or do you just care so much about me because I saved you," right? Those are the only two options. Neither one of those are romantic. He has no idea that she has these romantic feelings about him. Mm-hmm. So, a theory could be that he just does not understand love. Yeah. And that's why he assumes. I don't know. Yeah. I really don't.
It could. It could be. But as I said, there's no indication to show in any shape or form that he was romantically in love with her. No way. There's nothing there except for in chapter 139, and that's why it came out of left field, and that's why so many people disliked it, because it literally just came out of fucking nowhere. It wasn't predestined to happen. Like, it wasn't shown throughout the story that this was the case. It never was shown that way. And so that's why everybody, again, as I said, disliked it. Because it didn't make sense. It just came out of fucking left field. So
it's a rabbit hole. It's a big rabbit hole, because then why then would he not assume that Ymir does whatever Fritz wants, because, well, he didn't save her at all, ever. Right. And they're not well, I guess they technically became family in a sick sort of sense. But I don't know. So I really don't know what to think about this. Yeah. Not for AOE and not for making sense of the ending, making the ending better. I don't know. Yeah. I still think it's bad, because who would fall in love with their abuser? No one. And
it's not even just about falling in love with the abuser. It was just again, I think it was just once again some bullshit plot point to just put in there as a shock factor. Like, that's what I think. I think it was a crutch to add into the final chapter, because to try and support the whole Eren not freeing Ymir, but Ymir freeing Mikasa, freeing her. You know what I'm saying? To try to all of a sudden flip it to where Mikasa is the protagonist. Like, I just think it was just added in there, and it was poorly added in there. I think realistically, in my personal opinion, after chapter 122, Ymir shouldn't even have been mentioned anymore. That's just it. Because the shock factor of it was that we learned her true backstory. You know, because for all that time from chapter 1 to chapter 121, all that we knew of Ymir was that she was just this goddess-like creature who, you know, cultivated the lands and cultivated the world. We heard the little story of her, making a deal with the devil and shit like that, which I thought was a cool twist because of the fact that she made a deal with Aaron, which then in turn made Aaron be the devil. I thought that was cool. I think they should have expanded on that a little more, but that's just me. That's just me and how I would have wrote it. But disregarding all that, again, I think Ymir, her story after 122 should have been over with. As soon as he freed her, as soon as he told her that you make the choice, you're not a god, you're not a slave, you just make a choice and you be free. And after she then gave him and put all the burden and the responsibility and the shoulder load on Aaron, and he took that over for her, at that point she should have been free. She should have just went ahead and just said, okay, I'm done. I'm free. Right? And her story should have ended, in my honest opinion. She should have never been brought back up, ever. But again, I think she was brought back up in there because of the simple fact, I think it was just a way to try to make Mikasa out to be the hero and the protagonist. Because even he said it in chapter 139 that he had no idea why Ymir chose Mikasa. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, in his mind, 139, he just became a confused motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to use the little they want to use the whole bullshit where they want to use that whole bullshit to where all of a sudden it was you want to use that whole little bullshit of like I said, that little cop out. I just don't think that was, in my honest opinion, I just honestly don't think that was good writing. I think it was terrible writing, in my opinion. Yeah, I thought it was terrible writing, in my opinion. Yeah, I thought I was. So, but yeah, I think it was, like I said, I think it was just bad writing. I think it was just a crutch to where all of a sudden he just became confused and didn't know what the fuck was going on. All of a sudden, when in actuality, prior to that, he knew and did everything according to what he wanted to do, because of the situations that happened. And he knew exactly what this plan was and shit like that. Whatever. I talked enough.
Aaron being confused and assuming love also makes no sense. So I just call no sense for the whole thing. Because if he wouldn't be confused that Mikasa loves him, right? If he wouldn't be confused, oh, maybe she loves me, maybe that's why she does all these things for me, right? Then why would he then be confused that Ymir loves Fritz? It just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. What else are we going to cover here? I still do not like Levi saluting the fucking scouts at the end, because they did not dedicate their lives so Aaron could be killed. They did not dedicate their lives so that Paradis could be bombed, right? They dedicated their lives to be free of oppression, right? From Titans.
At the time,
oh,
yeah.
And then we find out, no, humans are Titans. That's not the problem.
Right.
And then Erwin says, hey, somebody outside of these walls really want us fucking dead.
Right.
And then they're fighting against that. Right?
Right.
So, I think it's kind of, again, asinine to assume that they dedicated their lives. It's literally like a smack in the face. They did not dedicate their lives for that. You think Flock dedicated his life so his fucking ashes could be bombed? So his mother, well, I guess it was 50 years later, so maybe not his mom,
Yeah.
So his brothers and sisters, perhaps, and his nieces and nephews could get bombed.
And
No. So Petra's father could get bombed. No. He's probably dead by then, but, Petra's brothers or sisters, whatever, could get bombed. I don't think they dedicated their lives for that. No. Still, same opinion on that. Again, I will make separate videos for how I feel about separate characters. I really want to touch on Mikasa, but that's going to be an entire video.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. But yeah, those are the most pressing issues. So I've heard some interesting ideas about like Mikasa's scarf and whatnot and what it represents. So we have Isayama saying that the scarf in the guidebook saying that the scarf represents a bond, a familial bond. The moment when Eren accepted her into their family, right? So it's a familial bond kind of thing.
I guess
which kind of makes me a little sick to my stomach thinking about, right? Because they kiss. Well, I mean, someone's kissing. Mikasa kisses someone at the end. Mikasa kisses Eren's corpse at the end, which I feel takes things away from being family to making it much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that. But again, I will say that yes, it was. I think once again, I think that I will say this at least with him giving her the scarf when they were kids. I think again that was just something like he said, like a family-esque bond, right? Because they were kids, you know what I'm saying? They were at that age, they were probably like 8, 9 years old, whatever, probably younger, and they didn't know about fucking and being boyfriend girlfriend. They didn't know about that, so. I think at that point in time, that's what it was for initially, right? We know how things evolve over time. So over time, I think that is what it was initially, but over time, her feelings for him grew. And, that's what I just truly believe. I think over time, her feelings for him grew, which we saw. I mean, prime example, the picture right below right there. I think that was what it was over time. I think she developed those feelings. I believe that. But again, I don't personally believe that he himself was the one that did that. As I said, I don't think it was from his end, but I think for sure over time her feelings for him evolved and changed and stuff like that. I mean, that's normal. You know what I mean? In terms of like growing, so yeah, that's what I believe that
a really awkward way. And a take I heard on Twitter during one of my mini arguments was that perhaps by family Isayama meant like I'm all you've got, you're all I've got, some shit like that, which I can kind of see, but Grisha does call Mikasa daughter, and it's just, it's weird. It's weird, because if the walls had never come down, they would still be bro and sis. It's just weird, and I still think it's weird, and I still do not think Aramika was supposed to be some kind of endgame. And technically it wasn't, because...
maybe not, but reality is, I can see how people don't really like that or think that that's weird. But then I also just look at it, the main thing, the way I look at it, is that they weren't blood related, right? They really weren't blood related. You see it happen all the time. All they really did was just take them in. What they did, yeah. That's the thing. He called... If it were to go down that route, yeah, Grisha did call, Mikasa his daughter. But if it did evolve into more than that, the reality is, yeah, they're not blood related by whatsoever. So if Mikasa grew feelings for Eren, it's not out of the realm of a possibility. You know what I mean? That could happen. But it'd be definitely more weird if it's true brother and sister. That's definitely weird. But with that case, it didn't. But again, it didn't grow to that. And I think based off of how Grisha responded by saying my daughter and stuff like that, I think that's exactly how Aaron kind of viewed her as well. I think Aaron viewed her as a sister. You know what I mean? As one of those sisters, because that's the way he treated her. And the way he treated her and the way the writing was with her is she was more of a sister character. Like somebody, like a little sister, little baby sister or something. So, yeah. But
Aaron's dead. I still think Mikasa's conclusion was terrible, but again, I will touch on that in another video.
I agree.
Just in summation, I think the story still sucks the way it ends.
Absolutely.
Because I still think it supports genocide more than anything. I still think it does. Because we see that the only thing that would have saved Paradis was this genocide.
Yeah.
That Aaron ends up not doing. And so he's proven, right, the genocide was the only option. Mm-hmm. And, we get the main cast thanking him and forgiving him since... Why? Like, do we ever figure out why they forgave him? Connie switched up real fucking quick. He's like, Aaron's cool, guys. He said, he turned my mom back. Nah, he's cool. Right. Yeah, and he still trampled 6 billion children.
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, wow. Aaron is such a man. You didn't have to do that. Whatever the fuck he did for Reiner.
Yeah.
Okay, and he still destroyed your hometown. Like, it's just so weird. It's tonally odd.
Yeah.
Historian, the farmer, I still think that's disgusting. It's so left field, so out of character, thematically gross. All the themes are still messed up. Just through and through, I still hate the ending.
Yeah, I think, I will agree with that. Now, the whole genocide thing of it supporting genocide, the way it was written, then yes. But to be honest with you, I think what would have happened more so is I think it should have been, and I've said this before, I think that there should have been 100% rumbling. And this kind of goes into the point to where I was saying and what I was saying before that I had thought about. And it made perfectly logical sense. If we think about it from a standpoint of a writing standpoint, in which, again, the themes and stuff that we were kind of presented to, and how kind of we can pretty much say that Ymir wrote himself into a corner, and he had no choice to write some of the garbage that he wrote. I think personally, if he was already in that corner, I think he should have embraced that corner, and what he should have done is he should have wrote 100% rumbling. I think it should have been 100% rumbling. Because with 100% rumbling, that would have changed the entire dynamic of the final chapter. A lot of what happened in the final chapter would not have happened if 100% rumbling would have happened. Because if we would have had 100% rumbling, what it would have been is nobody would have got their little one-on-one spiritual chat with Aaron. None of that would have happened. They would have all seen him differently, right? What I mean by that is they would have still been alive, because what would have happened is he was already ahead of them. So by the time they got there, it honestly should have been too late. So that's what leads to the theory that he slowed down waiting for them, which we know he did because he planned for them to stop him. So, but I think he should have did 100% rumbling, destroyed and wiped out the world. And what that would have done is that would have put him in a different sphere of how they would have viewed him and how they would have looked at him. And again, that would have destroyed all of that stuff where, again, your questions of how in the fuck did they just forgive him? Because they wouldn't have forgiven him for that. Because he would have done 100% rumbling. He would just been sitting there waiting on them. And what they should have done in that turn should have focused on the new cycle of hatred, right? Shout out to Naruto. The new cycle of hatred that Aaron, created in Paradis. When he first did the rumbling, a lot of people died. A lot of innocent people died when the walls came down. So it's one of those things to where you created another cycle by trying to destroy the cycle that was oppressing you. But now you just created it, and they should have kind of focused on that, I think. That would have been a better ending. And he should just did 100% rumbling. And again, that would have took out all that shit. That would have took out that bullshit with the dynamic between Mikasa and Ymir. All that would have been gone. Again, their little special scenes that they had with him, that would have been gone. The talk he had with Armin, taking him through there, that would have been gone. All of that would have gotten taken away by simply doing 100% rumbling. All of that would have been gone. Every last one of it. Every bit of it would have been gone. You know, so that's what I think should have happened. With what she said about it, saying that it supported the genocide the way it was written, I agree with that. But I think honestly, the simplicity of that writing, you know, it was what it was. I do have to say that because at the point in time, we saw the ever changing, the ebbs and flow of how things were when it came to the different choices and the decisions he had to make in order to get to the scenario in which he was at, right? But again, I look at it like it did boil down to straight up kill or be killed. That's what it boiled down to. Kill or be killed. Either we die or they die. And that's how it pretty much kind of ended. And if in fact it did get to that point, like it did, he should have just went ahead and just wiped out the entire world. Just to be perfectly honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have just destroyed the entire world. And it should have been on some stuff like that. It's not like, to be honest with you, it's not like that hasn't happened before in, you know, and not in that particular way in which he did it. But it's not like, you know, the genocide of the entire world being destroyed didn't happen before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hell, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu killed the entire planet. You know what I'm saying? They blew up multiple planets, multiple worlds in that anime. So it's not like that hasn't happened and it's just so, oh my God, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that, in my opinion. So, but I just think he should have went with 100%. And like I said, 100% would, in my opinion, would have solved the 139 debacle. It would have ended everything. So.
And I don't really think there's anything that can be done to change that. I do appreciate the expanding of perspectives on Twitter. I do appreciate the conversations I've been having.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it. It's not that they haven't been getting through to me. It's that, oh, okay, I see why you would think that. Mm-hmm. However, this is the position I hold that I think holds more weight because X, Y, and Z panel. X, right. Y, and Z thing that Aaron learned. Right. X, Y, and Z thing that, you know, is shown not to work, but is tried anyway. X, Y, right. and Z, X, Y, and Z, right? Like, there's just too much.
And that goes into what I'm saying when it said for me, like I said, like in my other videos when I was reviewing the other stuff. Like I said, everything that I say or everything that I come up with, I'm not just coming out off the top of my dome. Everything I do is based off the source material that was given to us. Everything I do is based off of, as she just said, the reason I can disagree with that is because of this panel and this panel and that panel. You know, a lot of ending defenders and a lot of people who try to say that they like the ending, they like to grab outside sources for the story itself and try to attach those sources and quotes and theories and things to it so that they can make the ending make sense for them as a coping mechanism. That's what I believe personally. You know what I'm saying? And Brownsmagic, she said it best before in a video. She said if you have to take outside sources to add to the source material or the story itself, then that means that the story did a terrible job trying to convey, the story and the author did a terrible job at trying to convey its message. Because if I have to grab outside things to make it better or to make it make sense because of my theories and different things like that, I have to take different philosophies and things outside of the realm of the story to try to add into the story to make it somewhat edible. That means that the core source material was bad. You know what I'm saying? It's the same difference as if you have a sandwich, a basic sandwich that you ate and you took a bite of that sandwich and you started adding other ingredients to that sandwich. That means that the sandwich itself, as in its original form and its original state, was not good. You had to add something to it to try to make it better or to make it make sense. So that means that the sandwich itself in its original form was not good. So the story itself in its original form was not good. So a lot of you indie defenders who are creating up with these theories and doing all this, you guys are doing a detriment more to the story than what you know. You actually have no idea. You're not taking the story within itself, rating the story, reviewing the story for what it gave you, what was on the pages and what was on the panels, and making your assessments off of that. You guys have to go outside of that, and you have to grab all of these different tablets and things and stuff to try and make sense and cope with the ending that we all know did not make sense. A lot of everything in the last chapter did not make sense. And we can accept that. So you guys need to learn to accept it. So,
where it's like, this chapter, it has to be a joke. It has to be clownery, tomfoolery. I don't know. But all in all, that's just what I want to say. I still hate it.
yeah.
I still don't like it. Let's say a year ago, I hated it 103%. Now, I hate it maybe 95. Because I understand the perspective now of people who do like it. You know, some people's headcanons, because that's all you can do, right? Because the mystery remains, so the story isn't over. So, you know, AOE, I fucking hope, you know.
Yeah.
Let me address that really quick. AOE, I'm I'm at about 60-40 again. Like, it went down a little bit, guys, but you know. But Siyama did say the mystery remains, so all we can really do is headcanon. So who am I to punish someone else for headcanoning in a way that makes them enjoy the series? You know, fuck it. Who cares? Like, I mean, if you want to interpret Eren as being a pathological liar in his own mind, if you want to interpret Eren as getting some third vision when he touches Ymir, if you want to headcanon Eren and Mikasa being lovers, I don't fucking know, man. If you, whatever you want to headcanon, you do that, because the mystery remains. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody freaking knows. What is the mystery? Let's just hope he tells us what it is. Because if you want my opinion, I think it's gonna come in this anime, right? In this next year. 2023, baby, we're gonna find out what the mystery is.
I mean,
if it's A&R,
that's cool.
I expect every single fucking person on Twitter to kiss my fucking ass. Like, literally kiss up to me, DM me, like, girl, Everybody who said anything negative about Arahisu, suck my toes, you know, like, and then, okay, so, as of right now, people on Twitter, you know, anti-Arahisus, we'll call them, they say, oh, yeah, like, only, like, 10% of the fandom are idiots who think Arahisu's canon, who thinks it should have been canon. Oh, you guys are such a minority. You guys are such a minority. Only, like, 10% of the fandom even consider...
Basically, she thinks that Eren and Historia, the people who think that Eren and Historia, they're saying that those are a small minority of people. In my opinion, I'm not shipping them together. I'm not doing like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to ship them together and, you know, these guys are doing... I'm not saying that, in my opinion. But it would have made more logical sense in the sense of the story itself, because he had, based off of her, I mean, they had a whole connection together. So it would only make sense for them to have actually gotten together. You know what I mean? Like, he had more of a connection with her than he did with Mikasa. From what we can tell, from what was presented to us on the pages about how, in turn, you know, they saved each other type situation. You know what I'm saying? Mikasa was just there. You know what I'm saying? She just always hunted down anybody who had, you know, Eren, and just did not think, you know, rationally in terms of just charging straight in anytime something happened there. You know what I'm saying? It was just that. It was just that with her. You know, but when it came to Historia and Eren, their conversations and stuff and their dialogue was a lot deeper. Just things were a lot more, you know, there was just a deeper connection. So it would make sense, honestly. But again, I'm not, you know, trying to romanticize the story, in my opinion. You know, I think the story was the story could have done without a lot of romantic stuff in it, in my opinion. You know, because it was a gritty, you know, war torn, revelation-esque type story. But you know, that's just me.
That Arahisu would be a thing. You guys are idiots and you're the minority. You're such a small part of the fandom, right? Then, if A&R happens, and if the baby is proven to be Aaron's, oh, Isayama just folded because he got so much pressure from that big-ass side of the fandom. Those Arahisu's pressuring him. Oh, the Arahisu's pressured him so much. So it's going to be like, y'all contradicting, was it 10% of the fandom, or was it the whole, or, you know, was it half of the fandom? Yeah. It's going to switch up real quick. Just telling you, get your screenshots now. Anyways, that's it. Come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll have the Mikasa video up. Comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.
That was definitely something. That was good. That was definitely good. I will definitely say that was good. I enjoyed the video. I did enjoy the video. As I said, I've said my points and things of that nature. Again, she makes great content, and pretty much about 95 to 99% of the stuff she said, I agree with. I really do. I agree with. So I mean, it wasn't anything like crazy or nothing like that. But I think it was a good look back and just kind of, you know, seeing that, you know, has your thoughts changed on the ending? As for me, honestly, no. I think the ending was terribly done. I think it was terribly written. I think the last chapter was very convoluted. And I think that in reality, again, he wrote himself into a corner and wrote himself into a wall. And what he had to do after doing that, he had to create these little bullshit plot points that didn't make sense to try to save what was presented to us, right? And that's just what I believe. And in all honesty, I just believe that because a lot of, like I said, stuff didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? My biggest takeaway and my biggest gripe is, again, you saying you don't know why you did what you did when you gave your declaration of why you were doing what you were doing in chapter 122, at the end of chapter 122. So it just didn't make sense. You knew what you were doing. You did what you did because of the simple fact that you didn't want to leave Paradise's fate up to chance. That's exactly what you said. You didn't want to do that. And that's why you decided to do what you did. You know what I'm saying? You said there's people across the sea, they want us dead. And I reject that wish. You know what I'm saying? They wish all of us to be dead, and I reject that. So I'm going to trample everybody that is outside of this island until there's no life left. That was your reasoning. So for you to say in chapter 139 you didn't know why you did what you did, that's pathetic. That's pathetic writing. But anyway, again, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Those who did, again, this is another lengthy video. My videos are always going to be lengthy, guys. I talk a lot. I like to talk a lot. I like to elaborate a lot. And the reason being is because I like to make sure that my point has come across clean and concise. And I don't want you guys to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? You know, with a short video and stuff like that. Most of my videos are pretty long and pretty lengthy because of the reason, because of those reasons. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, guys, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share the content. And all four of those things are all free, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So again, shout out to you, Brownsmagic. Thank you for the content. I look forward to more content that I can react to from other creators along with yourself. Appreciate that. And yeah, guys, just enjoy the rest of y'all's goddamn day. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.